But moving on, one stock to focus on is Sterlite Technologies in trade today. Let's quickly pull up the counter in trade as we speak. And overall, if you go to see, the promoters have removed 100% of the pledge on the company's shares. The stock has cooled off, but it's still seeing gains of around 6.5%. In fact, Anil Agarwal, what he's clearly indicated, who's the group chairman, I quote, extremely excited about Sterlite Tech's strategic push towards the future of global data networks, and the recent new technology solutions for data networks are very encouraging and have the potential to fundamentally disrupt the space. Remain bullish about our business ability to create disproportionate long-term shareholder value. Removed the entire pledge on Sterlite Technologies and remain committed to the highest level of corporate governance and shareholding in the company, I unquote. So again, a lot of confidence that is coming in for the shareholders of the company as well from the group chairman. But let's understand more. Joining us on the show now is Mr. Anupam Jindal, who's the group CFO at Sterlite Technologies. Anupam, good morning and welcome to the show. Now that the pledging overhang is pretty much past us, has there also been any intimation for further equity infusion given the strong outlook from here on?
So I think the promoter group continues to be very, very bullish about the overall prospects of the company and continue to remain committed to the ownership they have. As far as further equity infusion in the company is concerned, first, the company currently doesn't need any such equity, so there's no thought about making investment by the promoter in the company right now. But overall, the company, they continue to have great amount of confidence in the long-term prospects of the company.
Right. So the current debt levels and any further fundraising plans that you have in order to fund the capex?
So I think looking at our current debt level, which we had announced as on 31st March, we are quite comfortable with our current debt level with the net debt to equity below 1. We had about 1700 odd crore of net debt as on 31st March, and which is below 1 net debt to equity. And I would say when below 2 times of debt to EBITDA. So fairly comfortable level given the phase we are in, growing all the businesses through organic and inorganic means, including the capex which we are putting in. We are generating good amount of capex, good amount of cash operationally, and therefore we don't see any need for any fundraising, particularly through equity.
Okay. And overall, Anupam, what is the current order book, for the company, and what's the kind of average execution period for this kind of an order book?
So our order book stands at 10,000 crore, which is almost like all-time high, and it is also almost like 2 times of our last year revenue. So it provides a great amount of visibility and confidence for future outlook. These orders are essentially long-term orders having a execution span maybe from 6 months to almost like 3 years. So some of various kind of orders which we have, and we continue to have new inflow of orders. It's a balance between India and export, balance between products and the networks, services and solutions. So very healthy mix, and that will help us in delivering the kind of growth we have been delivering in the past.
Right. And overall, you have recently also signed a deal with one of the top cloud service providers. So are there any similar deals that could be in the pipeline for the company?
So these kind of deals are actually testimony of the technical and technology competence we have. And sitting in India, we are able to not just access those customers, but also get traction from those. That showcases our capability of, our capability to develop new solutions and technology for the requirement. And as far as scaling up of those opportunities concerned, definitely it will happen over a period of time. More importantly, we continue to see those kind of tractions coming in from various such customers, the newer applications which they are using the fiber in, and our fiber and the overall solutions which we are building around that is something we are getting very, very excited, and that is something which makes us apart from rest of the manufacturers or the players in the industry.
Right, Anupam, the kind of capex plans that the company had actually laid out earlier, is there any update on that front and any additions that you're looking at with regards to the coming 1 to 2 years?
Sure. So in terms of the overall business outlook, let me say that we continue to be very, very bullish about the overall data growth which we see growing exponentially, and the newer technology like 5G will further push it up. And we are seeing globally the large operators preparing themselves for a major capex investment to implement 5G for their networks. And fiber is going to be a key component for their rollouts of 5G programs, and we see a multiplier effect in the demand of 5G driven fiber growth. And Sterlite will continue to play a major role in that, not just because of the scale, but the technical and technology competencies we have. We are developing newer solutions, new products for catering to those requirements. And looking at that, we had decided to expand our capacity of fiber from 30 million to 50 million, which is almost coming in next few months or so. And additionally, we had also announced to expand our cable facility, which is going to be fully commissioned by June 2020, from 18 million currently to 33 million. So these are in line with our already announced expansion programs. Overall capex is also planned and funded properly. So these are the new capex we had announced, and some of them are already fully implemented or to be implemented soon. Some of that will get done in next 1 year or so. So apart from that, we have not thought of any further expansion, as we first need to see greater utilization coming in from these newer capacities, which will come over a period of time.
Right. So, is it fair to assume, Anupam, that from the second half of FY20, we could see, meaningful contributions that could come in from the newer capacities that you have been adding?
Absolutely. So the 50 million capacity which will come in will start contributing to the revenue and bottom line from H2 largely, and the cable facility which will be coming up in the first half of next financial year. So that will be contributing from next year.
Right. All right, Anupam. Pleasure speaking to you, and thank you for sharing that update. The stock continues to see smart gains, 6.5–7% up move, but it has cooled off from the day's highs of almost 194. It's now at levels of around 185 as we speak. But moving on.